Hey guys, so today we'll talk about how you can actually master DSA and how you can actually be good at lead code. Okay, because it's probably the most important step if you want to get the interviews. Okay, how you crack the interviews is a different story, but getting the interviews requires you to basically crack an OA, an online assessment, and that's going to be completely DSA based. Okay, so if you want to master it, just hang on for a while. Okay, so let's see. The first and biggest mistake that people do is that they randomly solve problems, or if they are following a sheet, they just solve a problem. The goal should be not to solve a problem, okay? No, no. But it should be to understand it, okay? It should be to understand the logic. And how do you understand the logic? It's through repetitions. Okay, so what do I mean by it? Just like man, when you started programming, probably loops were hard for you. Okay, similarly, if you want to get good at DSA, okay, as you got good at loops, right, what you have to do is you have to hammer it in you. And how do you hammer it in you? Through repetitions. And what do I mean by repetitions is that you have to practice the standard algorithms. The standard algorithms. And what are standard algorithms? There are many, in fact. In arrays, you have binary search. Binary search. Then you have things like two pointers. Then you have, okay, then you have what? Sliding window. Two types of sliding window, right? Then it's like linked list, right? In the DSA class, whatever you read about, right? Trees, binary tree, right? Then what? Then I would say graph. Take all the algorithms of graph. That means DFS, BFS. Then comes topological sort, and many more. Okay, so all the standard algorithms that includes Distra's algorithm, right? Then Bellman-Ford algorithm, all the algorithms like shortest path, I suggest shortest path algorithms, and then minimum cost spanning tree algorithms. So all the algorithms of graph, right? These all are standard algorithms, and then what? Then tries is also I think important in some questions. Okay, so these are like standard linked list. I would say stack. I forgot about stack. Okay, so there are many more. Okay, you know about them. So these are some standard algorithms, right? These are some standard algorithms. Now, what do I mean by standard algorithms are these, and what you have to do with these standard algorithms is repetitions. And what I mean by it, that you have to solve this on a loop. That means once you read about these basic concepts, you don't have to forget it or you don't have to leave them. You have to practice them on a loop. What do I mean by it? Like in a day, let's say you revised your binary search, two pointer sliding window. Next day you revise linked list stack. Next day you revise tree binary tree. Next day maybe in 2 or 3 days you revise graph. In one day, let's say you revise your tries. So all the basic data structures you revise. Okay, and then after that, let's say you did this in about 15 days. Okay, so then in the next 15 days you will repeat this process, keep on looping through basic algorithms. Okay, so don't focus on getting like 500 questions on lead code, etc. Focus on these standard algorithms, just these standard algorithms, and believe me guys, it's going to do wonders for you. Okay, so once you have like done it 2 times, I would say at least 2 times, okay, then you have to continue it definitely, but now you can switch to lead code. Okay, now you can switch to lead code in this all this time. And yes, I forgot one thing actually. I forgot sorting. Okay, I forgot sorting. So all kinds of sorting, tree, binary tree, graphs, linked list, stack. Okay, so whatever you can think of, all the standard algorithms. Now now uh, I would also include recursion in this somewhere. Recursion. Before basically going to any non-linear structure, you should be very well aware about recursion and backtracking. Okay, recursion, backtracking. Okay, it's a very fundamental topic. Now, coming to lead code. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to pick a sheet. Okay, pick any sheet, pick a sheet in which it has lesser number of questions. My personal favorite is actually neat code. It's called neat code 150. There are only 150 questions. Now again what you have to do is solve this in a loop. Okay, so similarly, let's say you're solving these questions. Okay, once you have done it two times, you will start solving neat code 150. Okay, and how do you solve it is the most important thing. Let's say you pick a question. Okay, you pick the question, and first of all you'll solve it linearly. You won't change the order. Don't change the order. Okay, that means whatever the order is given in the neat code website, okay, just follow that order. Don't apply your brain. Don't do like graph before trees. Okay, don't do that. Okay, so just follow the order. Don't change the order. Then next thing, that if you aren't able to solve a question, if you are not able to solve a question, you aren't able to, like, you aren't able to solve any question. What you have to do is basically uh, just repeat at least two to three times, two to three times. Okay, two to three times that question. Okay, so the I think the golden rule is that if you are like, if you are like solving a problem and you're stuck at it, try applying your head for about 1 hour, two at max 2 hours, I would say. After then, watch a video. Okay, try implementing it yourself without basically like just copying pasting. If you have a just understand, if you're just understanding what the guy is saying basically, then try to implement it yourself and implement it two to three times. Okay, that's the first thing. And one more thing about it, that you have to solve this as well on a loop. Okay, that means you have to solve these 150 questions at least, I would say, three times. Okay, and these standard algorithms, I would say easily about 10 times. Standard algorithms are extremely important. Okay, now you might be thinking you are just mugging up these 150 questions, but that's not it. You don't have to mug up the questions, right? What you have to do is you have to keep on revising. Revision is much more important than anything else. Okay, now let's come to some particular topics like DP. Now DP is one of the hardest topics in to master in DSA, and is the most asked topic as well. In case of DP, there is not much theory over here that you can cover. All these topics will require some sort of theory, right? But DP, not much. Okay, DP, you can basically watch a video or something about explanation for DP, and then you can directly jump into code. So again, go to Neat Code 150, right? Neat Code 150, and solve all the questions. All the questions. Now in DP, I would prefer that you should solve the questions again at least three times. But the thing is, you have to solve the questions in multiple ways. Okay, in multiple ways. So first step is definitely a recursive way. Each question should be solved in these three ways, right? First question should be solved, the question should be solved in a recursive way. Second time, or just after it, solve it using basically memoization. And then third step is tabulation. Okay, so like there are three main methods of DB, right? So you have to practice all three ways for each question, and you have to solve it at least three times. So I think there are about 24 questions in it, and if you solve these things three times, it's gonna be hammered into you, and you will really understand how do you move from a recursive solution to a memoization solution, and then to a tabulation solution. And the reason we end up like trying to go to a tabulation solution in the first place is because it's more optimizable. In a bunch of cases, you can optimize it further. Okay, so the fourth step is further space optimization. There are many like methods to it. First of all, you like alter the way you store the things, or there are other like topics as well that's completely separate from DB, not separate, but like they're very different kind of things that are used for safe space optimization. For example, bit masking is that way that's used, right? Or basically like overriding your table. Instead of using a 2D array, you start using a 1D array, right? So let's not go too deep into it, but you have to solve each problem in all the ways at least three times. Now, the thing that I'm like showing you over here is that the most important part about solving problems is repeating them. Instead of solving a bunch of problems, instead of solving 1,000 problems one time, solve 150 problems or 200 problems like 3 4 times. What will happen is that it's going to get hammered into your brain, man. You will really understand what should you do in this particular type of problem. And these kind of cheat like neat code 150 is very well designed. Like there are very different types of question in it, so you will basically touch all types of variety. Now along with it, what you have to do is, so the first step again, what was it? So it was to understand the standard algorithms. Once you're done with standard algorithms at least 2 times, you can now jump to solving neat code 150. Yes. And once you have just started solving it a bit, like you have done like 30 40 questions only, uh, you have to do it like at least 3 times, definitely. But now the next step will be is actually to jump into contest. Okay, so this is going to be your next step. So the next step is going to be that jump into contest. Now again, so when you jump into lead code contest, you will have to solve like 4 questions like in 1.5 hours. So it's a pretty stressful challenge, especially for beginners. It's very stressful, definitely. But the most important thing that you have to remember is that after the contest, solve all of the questions again. Solve all the questions again. Now, a lot of people miss it. Okay, even I have missed it. That once the contest is done, you have solved 2 or 3 questions. You think you're happy with your rating, and that's it. Okay, so if you are not going to solve the questions again after the contest, you're probably not going to get better. Okay, so if you want to get better, you have to solve all the questions after the contest. Okay, and once you have done this, let's say 3 times, now you can move to, let's say, another sheet. Okay, for example, neat code all, or neat code all, or you have like sheet by other people like Lubber, and I don't remember the name. Striver sheet is there. So any other sheet you can use, okay, and start solving it. But remember, man, you do not have to give up your basics. You do not have to give up it at all. Okay, so once you have, let's say, done with these standard algorithms, these looping standard algorithms that you're repeating every single week, let's say, so what you can do is you can modify them. Okay, for example, in binary search, two pointer sliding window, you're revising all these topics. Along with this, you can add your favorite questions, like 2 3 questions of each topic, and then you can solve those questions along with basic concepts in a loop. Okay, so what will happen is that these basic concepts will be as simple, as trivial as writing a loop, assigning a variable, and everything like that. Okay, so to get used to these algorithms, what you have to do is you have to repeat it, right? You have to do it in repetition. So what's going to happen is, for example, you practice BFS 10 times in any problem where you think BFS can be applied. Okay, BFS can be applied. You won't have to think about BFS implementation. This will come naturally to you. Okay, so, and in fact, in most of the problems in like in lead code medium, the problems are basically to identify what kind of problem is, what kind of basically category the problem lies in, and then implement it. Okay, so you will be able to solve most of the lead code mediums through this way. I'm not talking about all, there are many weird questions, definitely, but a lot of the problems. And the thing that's going to help you the most in basically tackling new problems is the contest. Okay, because you're going to hit contest every single week. Every week it's going to be like a weekly or a bi-weekly, right? So when you give both the contest, you are hitting eight question, let's say, in a week, fresh questions that you have to practice. And I would say I will really emphasize this more, that I think I really see that a lot of people are focusing on numbers now. Lead code is for your studies, man. It's not for show off. I know it's a show off that you have solved 700 problems and your rating is 2000. And honestly, number of problems you have solved is not any achievement. Your rating might be, but number of problems is definitely not. So do not focus on it, please. Don't focus on it at all. Focus on quality of problems you solve and the way you hammer it in yourself. Okay. And definitely give contest. Most people just skip this contest part. They are solving 100, 200, 500 questions, but they're not giving us a single contest. So that's just stupid. Okay. So let's revise again. What you have to do is that, first of all, you have to master your basic standard algorithms. Okay. At least repeat it 2 to 3 times. Then jump to lead code. Now, choose a smaller question base. For example, lead code 150. There's also a blind 75 on lead code, something like that. So just pick a smaller set of question and solve it in a loop in multiple times. Okay. So what you have to do is, like, pick a few questions, try to solve it. If you're not able to solve it, solve a few more times, 2 3 times, right? If there is a very challenging question, you can mark it, solve it, let's say next in the next few days, or about from a week from now, try to reattempt it. Okay, so solve questions multiple times instead of solving a bunch of questions. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, and then, uh, once you are done with 150 questions, then you can skip to a larger sheet for further practice. But first, you have to focus on smaller quantity of good quality questions. Now, next, the third step is jump into contest as early as possible. In fact, I would say if you have done these basic standard algorithms, jump into it. You will not be able to solve most problems, definitely, no doubt about it. But once you're aware about all the concepts, you can definitely give it a try. Okay, and start solving the questions if you're not able to solve them. A lot of people just post solutions on YouTube. You can watch them, like, for each contest, and get better at it slowly and slowly. And most importantly, man, numbers don't matter, and it's going to take time. It's definitely going to take time. Okay, so keep your patience and keep grinding, and definitely keep this in mind. First, practice standard algorithms, then go to neat code 150 or any smaller sheet, practice 2 to 3 times, and along with it, start giving your contest. And believe me, guys, you will really see a major difference. A major difference once you start solving it in a loop instead of solving new questions every single day. Okay, because you understand those questions really well. Okay, so that's it, and see you in the next video. Thank you.